So last year, a lot of people, like including myself, thought the Buffalo Bills were gonna, be the favorite to win the Super Bowl. I had them winning the Super Bowl last year, and if you really look at that team, for a lot of the stretch, like 2 weeks in, they looked like the best team in football. Two straight blowouts, were blowing people out. Like, I think they played the Rams, and it was just ugly, and they played somebody else too, and it was ugly as well. And then, towards the middle of the year, they kind of, teetered a little bit. It was decent play. It was all right play. And then they blew out the Steelers like 48-7 or something like that. So they would get a variance of like winning big, winning a little, or just losing, weird games. Weird games that you would just not expect them to lose. So I'm looking at this team this year. And obviously you have the week 1 loss to the Jets. And I think to better explain that and to better understand that, Josh Allen didn't play a single game in the preseason. That's kind of like the new model. They're not playing these guys a lot in the preseason. Like Mahomes didn't, I don't think he took a snap. A lot of starters just don't play. Aaron Rodgers only had like one drive. Could have led to his injury. Probably not. But Josh Allen, he threw like 3 picks in that game, did not look like himself at all. And then you got to somewhat factor, that was the first he's played. Hasn't really gotten a feel for it yet. You look at their next games. They played the Raiders 38-10. Game wasn't close. Commanders 37-3. Commanders only scored 3 points on them. And then they played the Dolphins, who was rolling everybody. I had a video about how I thought that maybe they were the best team in the league. And they were through 3 weeks. And then they played them, and it was an utter blowout, 48-20. And now you have this game coming up against Jacksonville at 9:30, and I don't know what to expect. Because Jacksonville, they've been playing pretty bad recently. Haven't been playing the kind of football that, I expected them to be playing through 4 weeks. I believe they're still 2-2. But at the same time, this should be an easy win for the Bills. Will it be, though? That's going to be the question. Will it be an easy win? And you got to look at this team. They're good. They have the components. I thought that Stephon Diggs was going to be fine. A lot of people thought before the year started there was going to be some issues there between him and Josh Allen, him and the organization. That is not true. That didn't stand to be true at all. He's played great. Josh Allen, other than that week 1 where he threw those 3 picks, he's looked really good too. And the games, like I said, they haven't been close since that loss to the Jets, which took overtime. Even with how bad they played really bad, and it still took overtime. So if you're looking at it, their schedule really isn't that difficult. So they could be the first seed. It's not that difficult. But it's about what they do in the postseason. Are they able to beat Kansas City in the postseason? Something that they just haven't been able to do. Last year, I thought they were going to be fine. Bengals came in, they smoked them. I believe it was in Buffalo too. Bengals just smoked them. So you really don't know what you're going to get with this team in the postseason. I think today, my prediction is they're going to have the best record in the not the NFL, but I think the best record in the AFC. And it's going to come down to, what team are we going to see in the postseason? And, I know they had that game against Kansas City 2 years ago, but guys, we got to stop talking about that game. Although he might probably outdueled Mahomes, he lost the game. They lost the game in overtime. And last year, they got beaten pretty badly by the Bengals in the divisional round. So they haven't been to an AFC championship since about 3 years ago. So we'll see what happens. Josh Allen, top 2, top 3 quarterback in the NFL. Never had a question about that. People were saying that, he was falling a bit. I didn't buy into that. Stephon Diggs, top 5 receiver in the league. They have a really good defense. It's a team that could win the title. They just have to really focus in the postseason. But, I would put them at number 1 right now, these past 3 games. And if you factor that game against the Jets, they were like trying to get a feel for their stuff, I'd put them number 1 right now. You have the components to win a title. I thought last year they were my favorite to win the title. They're not my favorite right now, but we'll see. We'll see after that first playoff game how they do. If they get that bye, they get that first seed, maybe they can make something happen. But it's going to be about what they do in the postseason. Right now, I think that they're probably the best team in the NFL.